Well, it's great because we talk about food and we talk about sights and all these wonderful things around us. But really, for the Christian, it's the other Holy Land. I don't know. It's been surprising to me.
Yeah, before you get here, you have this misconception that you want to see the Holy Land and where Jesus was and all that stuff to go to Israel. But really, you can't see the Holy Land until you've seen Jordan. I don't know, what was some of the most, for you guys, we've seen several holy sites. Which ones really connected the most with you?
Nothing can compare with seeing where Jesus was baptized.
Yeah.
That's true.
And, hearing the history behind it and how they have determined archaeologically and this was a place of pilgrimage all the way back to the first days of the church. They have realized is where it happened, and you see it with your own eyes, and it's breathtaking. And hearing the prayers in Arabic that would normally be so familiar to me in English was just so moving to me and so inspiring.
Well, for you, it's baptism of Jesus, but for me, Mount Nebo.
Yeah.
I'm a Mount Nebo guy.
Yeah, where Moses looked into the Promised Land, and I stood right there, and I'm like, this is the same vision that he had, and the same. And that was very moving.
I know. We got to go twice because, of course, we were lucky enough to be here for Easter Sunday, and so we went to a sunrise service on top Mount Nebo. But then we went back another day for Golden Hour, and I know for me that was my moment where I just got to sit there alone and to have my thoughts and to pray and to just be with God and especially as a theologian to teach and to talk about these things. For me to finally sit there and to think Moses stood here, and this is where he saw the land that God had promised our ancestors. Just so profound. Wow. You want to walk where Jesus walked. You want to go further back than Jesus and experience the story that led up to Jesus. You need to go to Jordan.
And when you think of all the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who have walked this land before us, and that you're following, almost literally in their footsteps, and you connect with something so huge and so important, and it's humbling.
Yeah, that is a good word. And with Bethany Beyond the Jordan, they did such a great job of preserving it as best as possible. With what it might have been like when, I pictured him walking kind of down that bank and John, reacting, wow, you need to baptize me. Picturing that moment, I connected with God in such a neat way because it's not just a story, it's a part of history that came to life here in Jordan for me.
Yeah.
And it's important, I think, too, that Christians are welcome here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've heard and actually observed is that they understand that we have a vital part of the ancient culture here, and that we're part of this country, and I feel very safe and comfortable and embraced as a believer in this country.
Yeah, this is an overwhelmingly Muslim country, but the hospitality that we've experienced here, and the graciousness and the generosity of spirit.
Absolutely.
It'll shed any misconception or stereotype you have about
Of
Muslims.
the Middle
Exactly.
East especially.
I think one other really important thing that I was really impressed with and makes me, if I was to do another Holy Land experience, inclined to come back to Jordan, is that here in Jordan, the holy sites have been really preserved. In a lot of places, you can't actually go to where it happened because early Christians just built a church on top of it.
Yeah.
But the one that really stood with me was the spring where John the Baptist began his ministry, where they said, listen, this is exactly the way it looked 2,000 years ago. It has not been touched. This is exactly what Jesus saw. And I think even though that was one of the moments that really connected with me, because all the other times you wonder if it's changed or this or that, but to know when you're sitting there that they have preserved this, and that the Jordanian Antiquities Authority is going to such great lengths to make sure that nothing can be built and that it's be declared a World Heritage Site. To me, that's just exciting to know it's not changed.
And it's preserved, and it's not hyped, and it's not commercialized.
Right.
And it's not.
There's no Disneyland
gaudy
effect.
No.
Yeah.
No, and it's just kind of like you're right there.
Yeah.
I'm Rustam Makhtian, Assistant Director of the Baptism Site. I'd like to welcome you all to this part of the Holy Land. We're receiving pilgrims from all over the world to enjoy this heritage that belongs to you. Whatever I say, ladies and gentlemen, will not be enough. Unless you physically visit the site, it's then when you'll feel the wilderness of John, you'll enjoy the place where Jesus baptized and Christianity started. So ahlan wa sahlan in Bethany Beyond Jordan.